the others to be able to get the job done versus Priest and Druid. I think the Demon Hunter has a better chance. For me personally, I think this is the one where more of the tech splashes over onto the Demon Hunter here with the Warlock.
There is some good news for Casie, though. He does run a Consume Magic, and then as ever, the Wand Makers can get him either Consume Magic or a Mana Burn, which I think, again, is going to be an effective card in these matchups. And also, I think this is a matchup where Horde Pillager can get some work done, because if these weapons are broken and not stolen, then guess what? You get another swing out of it and play a minion. So this is where we start to see Horde Pillager do some work, not only in hard weapon hate matchups, but also in some other ones like Priest, for example. But yeah, ready to get into the game. Sorry for the slight delay there, making sure the players are ready. And we are going to see Jarla on top on that Warlock, Casie on the bottom, just with the Mana Feeder Panthara keep.
Yes, and I will absolutely confess that although I'm not a fan of Horde Pillager overall, this is where it does make sense. If you're in an acidic Swamp Ooze meta, absolutely. Horde Pillager, good card for sure. But you can see Casie already zenning out right now, hands clasped, eyes closed, deep breath right on cue, just making sure he stays focused on this, because this is enormously important. When I said if that result between Tice and RDU went the way that it did, we should refocus on Casie, I mean that in multiple directions, because not only can he still now be relegated, he can also now still win the division because of RDU's loss. So a win or loss here has enormous implications for whether he is looking at that additional seeding that we were talking about from RDU, or whether he's instead dealing with that relegation bracket scenario.
Right. And looking at this as well, if Jarla takes a victory, does go up to 4-3 and has a 2-0 weekend off the back of this anti-warrior strategy. So a pretty great heads-up call for him, and one that will pay off greatly if he can win this series. Just whipping in the last week at a 2-0 victory just when you need it. A huge, must be a tough decision for Jarla to even submit this lineup, honestly.
And while I was explaining the stakes here, Jarla made a crucial decision, which was mulliganing away an acidic Swamp Ooze, trying to find more proactive things to do with his deck, which I do like. Like, this is still Galakron Warlock. You want to go invoke into Veiled Worshipper. Like, that's the powerful thing that your deck does. So I do definitely respect Jarla having that aggressive mulligan. He did, however, now pick up that acidic Swamp Ooze back into his hand alongside a Kobold Sticky Finger as well.
I also think it's important, this isn't Priest. You draw a lot of cards with this deck because you want to life tap, you want to play Veiled Worshipper, etc. So like, you can throw away weapon removal, especially when you know a weapon's not going to come down till minimum turn 3, and if it is, it's only a 2 attack. So, like, I agree, I really like it from Jarla, looking for something slightly stronger to do. He's even going to throw an Ooze.
Tempo Ooze wants to fight for the board, love it.
And he can do this because he has Coin Kobold Sticky Finger as well, right? If a weapon does come down, which is turn 4, excuse me, you are expecting the Marrow Slicer, then you do have that option.
He also has the bases covered here, because if it's not the Marrow Slicer, the weapon that he's actually scared of, he can throw in the Shield of Galakron instead. There is value to just making sure weapons don't get broken at all, and just stealing whatever weapon that you see, because that does turn off Horde Pillager at that point if that's in your opponent's hand. But I love this back and forth of, Casie saying, okay, if you want to coin the weapon destruction, I'm going to give you the small weapon. So Jarla instead just threw out the Taunt Minion in response, and then Casie comes back with the big weapon, and now the Kobold Sticky Finger can potentially get some value.
We have a small one there, but I just do want to keep an eye on that Casie could have been on 26 this game, not 25, as he didn't hero power into the Ooze.
Wait, really? Probably. Did he just not hero power?
He just passed. Yeah, he just had floated 1 mana. Yeah, it's a small thing because he kills the Ooze regardless, but lifesteal works, right? So he would have been on full into that previous turn, but he ended it on 29. So. Yeah, it's a small thing. It probably doesn't matter because of the nature of how Jarla will want to play this matchup. But if it comes down to, Jarla bursting him out in 1 turn, yeah, it's just pretty interesting to see, that's all. But there's the Sticky Finger, there's the swing.
But this one is already fairly close though, right? Because now there's Marrow Slicer, he can just go face, and even if Kartuk comes down on curve here, He has Consume Magic to drop behind this. Casie needs to think here about how many Twin Slices need to be committed this turn to open up other draws from his deck. Because he's dealing 7 more now, and then he has plenty already to bust through with the second swing of the Marrow Slicer and the Consume Magic on the following turn against the expectation of the Kartut Defender. But now Ooze Nether Breath? That's just better?
This always feel better because there's 2 cards in Casey's deck that will just win him the game if he goes Kartut, right? Which is Kane or Consume Magic.
Right.
Whereas if you Ooze, you know there isn't another Marrow Slicer, right? Both are gone. I guess the Horde Pillager, but then that's 4 mana. If you Ooze, heal up to 12. 4 mana would have to be paid to re-equip a Marrow Slicer for 4 damage. And how are you doing 8 with 3 mana? It's pretty much impossible, right?
I mean, yeah, the answer is Twin Slice. It's always Twin Slice. If it's efficient damage for not very much mana, then it's...
Yeah, and it wouldn't be enough, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's some kind of Twin Slice combination that you need to deal an additional 8 here. But it's not coming down alongside Marrow Slicer, that's for sure. Oh! Huge win for Casie.
GG.
As he gets the Demon Hunter over the line here with the Consume Magic and these Twin Slices. Jarla just bet the game on no answer. No Kane, no Consume Magic. Certainly simplifies everything if he can get that Kartut healing in the bank long term, but it is a risk that he did take, and he is going to get punished for it. As Casie finds a victory with the Demon Hunter right off the bat.
Yep, really big win there, and that is something that can also happen if you just stack weapon after weapon after weapon. Then you ask your opponent to actually match you in terms of crazy draws of just having like 3 to 4 weapon removals one after the other, which is just unlikely. So I think Casie did a good job of actually leveraging the fact that he just randomly had at the start of that game like 3 weapons in hand as well. So that was a pretty big deal there. So Casie getting that win number 1 pretty smoothly, pretty big actually. And again, it does come down to the Warrior, but Casie could have lost that game pretty easily.
He could have done, yeah. I mean, he could have even lost that game to some lines that were available in Jarla's hand. That's not, calling Jarla out for making the wrong play or anything, but there were plays available that could have shut that down. Like, long term, if you accept that there's a turn in that game where you will be dead to certain cards, you could argue that that's the best turn to take it, right? Because if he does survive that turn, suddenly he gets the healing from Kartut Defender, he still has a weapon destruction for another weapon further down the line if it's Horde Pillager, and he still has a Nether Breath in his hand that he can draw Moarg and then get all of this insane healing to come together. So you can certainly create the argument that maybe a risky turn was going to have to be taken at some point during the game, and he just chose to take it there where it was the least likely that the huge burst damage was going to come through. But certainly there were some other options available that could have at least kept him alive, if not won the game. But huge series, of course, and that's not a huge victory. Casie loves seeing the 1 go up on the scoreboard, but it's not the big deck that he needs to win with here. That is absolutely the Warrior, and it's absolutely still to come.
Yep, all eyes are going to be on that Warrior deck if and when Casie does choose to lock it in. But we are going to go to a quick break while the players prepare for their next game. Don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back with some more Hearthstone Grandmasters.
To the hand growing up, many frogs used to catch a lot of frogs.
I had 2 goldfish when I was at 8, I think.
We got our first cat. His name was Tiger. He was a barn cat.
Probably 100 to 200. They were all goldfish, and they all died relatively quick.
My sister got a dog. His name was Primo.
Most recently, we have a cat called Ember, which my family fails to call by name because they just try to call her like that, but her name's Ember.
My little brother got a cat. Oh gosh, I don't know his cat's name. I moved out of the house before he got that cat.
I had a cat growing up, and his name was Charlie, which in English would translate as Charlie.
The girl I was with at the time had 2 cats.
I had a bunch of pets growing up. I don't know if I want to give out their names that I remember, because I might use those for other purposes, but
The girl I'm with now has a cat, and her name is Kiki. So lots of cats, lots of dogs. Always love having an animal in the household, at least one.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Hearthstone Grandmasters European region. We are in our third match of the day, and it's Casie versus Jarla. Casie just getting a win with that Demon Hunter over Jarla's Warlock in quite a swift fashion. He's still got a long way to go, though, Saul, as he all eyes are going to be on that Warrior, but we are going to see Rogue next from Casie. Definitely want to draw this one out, I guess.
Yeah, and I guess this is the other way to go about it, right? Just get the wins under the belt with the other decks first. I did say that this Rogue should largely be a free win in this series, and I hope that Casie does not make a liar out of me. I'm assuming that the way things split up, as I was talking about earlier with this particular practice group, is that Casie and Bunny ended up practicing together, or at least both agreed upon this version of the deck, because they're both playing that underbelly fence in their deck, which is a new addition this week around that we're actually seeing from some of the Americas players as well. But generally, this deck is just too efficient, too quick, and too clean in terms of dealing with Kartuk defenders, for example, for any of these heavily teched versions of decks to be able to keep up against.
Yeah, I will say, though, the Galakron Warlock and Priest lean a lot more towards a real deck than we've seen from other players approaching this strategy of going like, look at the Shaman, even the Turtle Mage, for example, did some things to extremes, but the Priest and Galakron Warlock are close to a normal deck that can win games versus other classes. I think the Priest probably has an okay chance, but I do agree that Casie is favored going into this.
I don't know how true that is. It is of the Priest, of course, because this is just a meta deck, like a tier 1, tier 2 meta deck with 4 bad cards in it at this point. The Gala Warlock, though, Gala Warlock is 40% on ladder, which is much, much worse than Turtle Mage was, and probably worse than Control Shaman, although I don't actually know the statistics of that off the top of my head. Gala Warlock is a really, really bad deck, Raven. I think you're underestimating how bad it is.
I think it's a lot better with a ban.
Sure,
so,
that's fair.
That definitely helps, and where ladder stats can sometimes be a bit deceiving. But I agree, Gala Warlock is not a top tier. It's not comparable to Priest, to be fair. But already we're getting off to a quick start here, so we just jabbering on it as usual, and suddenly Casey's just got a Quest and Adventure on board as a 3/3 that, at a quick glance, cannot be answered.
No. As always, forget about Hearthstone, Raven. Our argument is far more important. But yeah, Jarla's list in general is not playing Holy Smite and it's not playing Penance, because why would you play those cards, right? Your deck is designed to beat Bomb Warrior. What do you really need either of those cards for?
Well, would have
Too
been
late.
nice for this turn.
Yeah.
So I guess it's Draconic Studies to go for Cleric next turn, potentially.
Sure, I like that. Yeah, that makes sense.
So does Jarla. Because he can actually just pull cards from his actual deck. He does have a Shadow Word Death in the list still. So there is the Dream Answer that you can get next turn. We'll put this quest in dead if Casie had pushed it above 5.
I mean,
5 or above, shall I say?
Sure. Personally, I think I would have played the dirty tricks there and just said, you have one Shadow Word Death in your deck, like, go ahead. You know, spend your whole turn killing my 5/5 and then I draw 2 cards, but I can't argue with this too much. It does allow the almost guaranteed big hit to go through next turn now with the Vendetta and 2/2 drops at a minimum now.
If Jarla gives him a target for Vendetta, maybe that's the play.
Yeah, maybe. You can see already the downside of taking a deck this heavily, though, right?
I wonder.
2 cards, relatively dead.
Like, that sticky finger on the left-hand side literally could have been the equivalent of a Holy Smite, right? Like, that, you could just, you know, if you wanted to really be a little bit disingenuous with it, you could just say the Holy Smite was the card he cut from his deck to put that sticky finger in there, and that would have just been a Holy Smite last turn. Of course, then Casie could just play differently, because he'd know he'd be up against a Holy Smite list, and the whole thing kind of falls apart, but it does at least somewhat illustrate the point.
Okay, though, options. The generally just fantastic card that is Soul Mirror, or maybe the more immediate potential in the renew is going to be the choice from Jarla here. There was good arguments for both, but I think the fear factor is if it's not Soul Mirror, then if it is Soul Mirror, is he just going to be dead by the time he gets to play it, which I think is fair.
Prep tricks, plagiarize, shotbot, 9 to the face. No, he's going to hold. He's going to re-dagger to be able to deny the targets on board. Okay.
Well, this renew's going to have to do something pretty big. And the problem is, if he wants death, he can't really play the Cabal first, right? And then go for a steal on, say, the shot bot. So...
Yeah, also remember from Jarla's perspective, he doesn't know what secret he's dealing with here, so even just, like, going for the Cabal combo, there's a chance it's plagiarized, and he just gives that whole Cabal combo just over to his opponent.
Yeah. I think he just has to start with Renew. Does get Shadow Word Ruin?
Alright, sure.
What is Jarla thinking about?
Everything, Raven. Everything.
Does get the news it's dirty tricks, so some extra cards for Casie to mess around with. But most importantly, Jarla gets to hang on here, which...
Yo!
Oh, does he?
Give me a quest.
Again!
Yeah, Shadow Step's really nice here. And on a card that is actually going to generate him value, not only stats for the questing. Jarla does now have the card tut, so he can put a bit of a speed bump in the way.
It's true.
Oh, double one maker as well. The value's there, but...
Yeah, I think he wanted the Cleric of Scales, though, right? So he could go fishing for the Shadow of Death again.
What is Elun's will?
It's such a tough turn. Like, Jarla might just feel like he needs to Cartoot Defender for defense here. He might just feel like he has to rip a Wave of Apathy out off the Wand Maker.
I think the Cartoot Defender probably has to be played because it requires Casie to have exactly Secret Zapper, right?
Casey's been holding a card this entire time. Like, this is the exact reason why Casie hasn't played this secret on the 2 occasions where I've talked about it, right? Is that he wants to always have a secret in his hand because he understands how valuable the Blackjack Stunner is in the matchup.
Yeah, that's true, but Jarla knows that one of those things would have to come off the top, right?
Yeah.
For it to work, because the other 2 are generating cards. So I think he could have taken that opportunity to play the card up. Lethal?
No, not quite.
9.
But
wait. Oh yeah, he stole the 2-2, not the 1-2, right? Okay, it would have been lethal if he stole the other one, right?
Yep.
Wow. Close.
But yeah, just considering the implications, I think it was always going to be Plague, but obviously you technically give Jarla a way to deal with your threats. You're just trying to piece together any world where that's actually realistic. Like Apotheosis, Radiance, like, is that a game that you ever lose? No, probably still not, right?
Not with a King Crush in your hand, so that's just a matter of time, not a matter of if.
What is a loon's will?
What's really funny is there's like a swing sticky fingers play. I mean, it's terrible, obviously, and he just dies, but it's funny.
Okay. Still doesn't get there, right?
No.
Needed Wave of Apathy plus something to maybe be alive for 1 turn.
Or it needed 1 more mana to be able to go Pyro Apotheosis, right?
Sure.
I think that might have done it.
Nope. Game 3!
Ooh, okay. Well, now Casie gave us some appetizers, I guess, there for the first 2 games, doing the job with his other decks. It is all going to come down to this, which is what the lineup of Jarla has aimed to do. Hard target Bomb Warrior. Jarla's only real goal in this whole series is to not let Bomb Warrior win. So although, of course, Casie being 2-0 up looks great, none of it matters. Bomb Warrior can't cross the line. So honestly, Sol, the series kind of starts now.
It really does, yeah. As I said, the Rogue was largely a free win. The Demon Hunter had some questions in a couple of the matchups, but overall it was doing fine as well. This lineup is hard-tuned, hard-teched to deal with this warrior, and we saw Bly's largely beating his head against the wall yesterday. He just equipped Wrench Calibers, he swung face, and he hoped that the weapon destructions weren't there. And then they absolutely were, and he was quickly 3-0'd. Casie, having approached the series the other way by, not just going straight for the Bomb Warrior time and time again, I'm curious whether he also then approaches the matchups in different ways by trying to do somewhat creative things. Because actually, him having the risky skipper variation of Warrior might actually help him out against the Galakron Warlock if it comes to playing a removal game plan, because he can deal with several waves of the 1/1 tokens that get summoned alongside the invokes, right? So maybe that means Casie can actually go a little bit longer in the matchup, remains to be seen, but certainly we had some sort of creative strategies that we came up with in testing that, I mean, here's the thing. They seem to get closer than just equipping Wrench Caliber and beating the face, but closer doesn't mean anything. We couldn't find anything that actually won, right? We couldn't find anything that got over the line, so getting what feels closer to winning the game doesn't actually achieve anything. So maybe the best strategy is still just to equip Wrench Caliber and go face and hope the removal isn't there.
I think for me, if you go for slightly outside of the box strat, right? It felt closer. And then I wonder if you go completely the other way and say, actually, because it felt closer, what if I just do it and hope something goes wrong for my opponent? You know what I mean? Like hope they just have bottom 4 weapon destruction, or something like. Maybe that is to the extent the dire situation it is, but it does look like Casey's keeping it relatively simple for now, at least, and it's just going to keep swinging.
And it does mean he's going to get 2 bombs into the deck immediately here, which is huge. By coining out the Wrench Caliber here, he's racing the Sticky Finger. This board state is really nothing that he needs to worry about because he has Risky Skipper in hand, as I was talking about. Like, already, for this matchup specifically, it does seem like the skipper version of the deck just has a few more outs than the version that Blythe was favoring in the previous series.
Oh, wow. Okay. Captain Greenskin, not a bad pirate. And yeah, you could argue the upgrade effect is negligible because there's weapon removal, but also it's just a bit of a big boy, right? It's just another minion you can play.
Exactly.
This is the issue with the sticky finger keep, is that you do open yourself up to potentially passing a few turns of the game. Not that y'all had to pass, of course, but it does slow down your overall game plan. It does get to steal the wrench caliber, though. Now I guess it's more like game on.
Big deal. You can see all of a sudden it needs to be the second sticky finger here, or Casie would actually have a game plan going. Fortunately for him, or for Jarla, sorry, the second sticky finger is present, but just having access to such good tempo in the early game with the risky skipper and the wrench calibers, he's actually been able to punish Jarla for having to play these expensive weapon removals by just sticking minions and getting repetitive damage. But that second kobold is now a huge backbreaker, I think, for Casie, because it now means there are no wrench calibers in his destroyed weapon pool at this point. Yep. Buff up your upgrade. Start going to town. This is the only plan you've got.
Because now Jarla gets to actually plague the Kartuk defender if he wants to. It's a play I seem to always suggest for some reason, but it's a play I actually like. Whoa, hold on. Close.
Raven, I don't know what you were talking about, but he was drawing cards and he was at 10. I wasn't listening. I was paying attention to where the bombs were coming out the top of his deck.
Kartuk, plague.
I see. Excellent.
That just seems
so many
okay, right?
Especially now that you drew one bomb, because even if you just play Kartuk and pass here, Casie could just end turn, and he has a 1 in 10, he has a 1 in 10 basically to win the game at that point.
Still push damage to face to remove the armor. Like, not banking the Kartuk heal makes me nervous.
Almost out of time.
And he's you're not even expecting that many things you have to remove. I guess there's a fear that if then Casie has this mystery pirate and something else, then he's in trouble. Or if I guess Dr. Boom is in trouble, but I think if Dr. Boom comes down, he's in trouble no matter what. I think
Nobody leaves
Alright.
these ruins but me.
Pass.
Play minion, armor up, end turn.
Yeah. And he has Deathwing for next turn.
1 in 10?
So bad.
1 in 10? Oh, okay, the dodge. It's twice now. It's twice Jarla has taken risks to die on 1 turn immediately to set himself up with a better game plan long term.
This is super awkward though, right?
Yep.
Because he can't clear this 4/4 or he has to replay a Kartuk.
Yep.
Oh, he wants to replay. Okay, he wants to do it this way. Fine. I didn't know if he wanted multiple targets on board.
He actually doesn't get it right because Death Rattle goes before Reborn, so the Reborn happens afterwards. He keeps it.
Yeah. I was thinking the play order got locked in my head, but yeah, you're right. It's not play order because it's not just Death Rattles, is it?
Yeah.
It's Reborn.
Kartuk Defender's an easy one to get wrong as well because it's Death Rattle Reborn, so you just kind of look at it as a Death Rattle, but it's not.
You're completely right there. Has to be another taunt, right?
Yes, I will destroy.
Oh!
Jeez.
Mohawk breath now.
He's a dragon away from a good time.
Your wish is my suggestion.
Yeah, that's not getting played. If you can play that, you're dead at this point.
Snap. Deathwing, go!
Survives on 1 health as well, which is, I guess, pretty convenient at this position. Still 2 bombs in the deck, 1 in 8 to draw 1 of them. Dodges again.
But no dragon. Still for Jarla, which means there isn't the Moag Nether Breath combo for a ton of health. He's so close.
I want
So what can Casie look for here is actually the Galakron, the best draw in his deck now that Deathwing's gone as well.
It looks that way, yeah. He still has his Ankar remaining as well, which could represent some damage. And then, of course, yeah, the Blastmaster Boom on top of that as well. And Dr. Krastenov just to continue pumping up this this weapon as well.
Shield block, okay. He can go Risky Skipper Barov regardless.
Okay. Okay.
It's Krastenov. It does give Jarla a turn, though.
He does, yeah. But he now has Brawl Krastenov on the following turn to be able to almost certainly force damage through to face. The Krastenov doesn't really mitigate the circumstance where the Shield of Galakron is the minion that lives, but I think Casie is smart here to just space out his removal a little bit because he can't just throw it out willy-nilly, right? He's got plenty of health still to play with. He doesn't have to react to the board state just yet.
Yeah, I think as well, although there is a sack pack in Jarla's deck, I think you expect there to be enough ways to generate an imp or demon of some respect.
Yeah, of course.
Jarla gets it off no matter what, right? So I don't think that's a punish for leaving these 1/1s up.
Agreed.
Trunks can get Jarla some armor, basically. It's a very expensive shield block in a roundabout way.
13 mana shield block.
Kind of true.
Yeah, 5 armor, draw a card. That's exactly what he's done, yeah. Okay, Battle Rage is incredibly clutch here.
So does he go for something else now? Doesn't go for the
Barrel
Krastenov.
Yeah, you could go Horde Pillager here not to restore a weapon, because I don't think anything does get restored at this point, but you do actually just activate your Battle Rage for 4 cards, which is insane. There is that Blastmaster Boom. Blade Storm to go with it now as well!
Jarla's kind of wants to draw a bomb and also doesn't want to draw a bomb at the same time if he had this knowledge.
Still 2 bombs remaining.
This demon's going to have to be clutch. High health, haunt. What Jarla's after. Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
Those fit the bill.
Even lifesteal on the Dreadlord Death Rattle.
Oh, Galakron.
They like 3 of the best demons, 4 of the best demons he could have got, sorry?
Yeah, completely insane.
Close.
Completely and utterly insane.
So now he has to Blade Storm, right? He has to kill this lifesteal.
He has to kill it. And that means the last charge of the weapon is gone as well without that Krastenov value.
It's true, but he does have Galakron, so he still has ways to deal damage.
He still has 1 upgrade and an Ankar in his deck as well, so there's a good chance that he's able to get some weapon value, and now only 7 health left to play with! Nether Breath's still not active!
So Jarla has 2 Nether Wings, an Evasive Draconid, an Alex Straza. So, what, 4 cards in his deck?
Yep.
In 4 out of 11 are dragons, which would basically win him the game. Is that fair? If he drew 1?
I would imagine so, yeah.
Double Moag and Nether Breath seems insane. It's basically a health reset at that point.
Yep.
All the weapons gone. Or all the wrench calibers gone, should I say.
Remaining cards for Casie. Upgrade, Corsair Cache, 1 Armorsmith, 1 Blade Storm, the Ankar. 1 card is a bomb, and then he has 1 Brawl remaining. So there is some damage left over! Oh! Oh no!
But he got the Nether Breath. He got the Nether Breath.
He did get active Nether Breath, yes. Yeah.
Oh! Wait, what? What?
R2?
What?
1 bomb remaining, I believe. No, 0 bombs remaining? Yeah, 0 bombs remaining now in Jarla's deck.
Okay. That makes more sense. I thought there was 1 for a second, because I was like, hang on. Is this the fabled Blastmaster Boom Hero Power Shield
Slam? Yeah, I was on the same thing. There's no way you make the play that Jarla did if there was still a bomb remaining in your deck. You would just take the heal immediately.
Right. Big Armorsmith, though.
But he has nothing to play around here. As long as damage cannot directly hit him in the face, he's safe. He knows that. He nods. Just means he's banked the Kartut healing on a turn that he was actually completely safe to do so. It was actually a really, really smart play to stretch out the healing as far as possible from Jarla.
I'm not going to lie as well. Did forget about the Ankar, which can also stack up some damage.
I've said it like 4 times, Raven!
I don't listen to you. Not when we're in a game this tense. Look, in the words of someone that I've cast with very, very recently, Jarla was on low health and drawing cards, okay? I wasn't listening.
Yeah.
What about?
Let me just, like, heal for a million. I'm getting nervous. Like, I'm very... I don't know how Jarla feels, but I'm uncomfortable.
There isn't a punish, right? There's no way for him to, like, generate dragons. There's no... The Deathwing's gone. There's no way for, like, super odd things to happen, is there?
Like, realistically, here's the thing, though, right? As long as he doesn't die, as long as he can calculate that he literally never dies on any given turn, he's much better off holding that combo to just deal with the big minions that come out from Casie, right? Because there's still the buffed Galakron, there's still the Blastmaster Boom as a War Golem. So, you know, optimal play says that you use that combination to just shoot a big minion on Casey's side, as long as you can literally calculate you're never dead, which I think Jarla can.
Oh, or I guess on the flip side of that, what if he just wants to nether breath to kill his opponent now?
I mean,
Like
yeah, sure, that's also valid.
14's
Yeah.
not a lot of health.
Yeah.
Oh, the Ubisoft.
Yeah, it's over. It's over. That's it.
With only 5 cards left as well, let's just remind everyone, Alex Straza is in the deck. Not normal Alex Straza, so he can reset to 15 if he needs to. Also, Evasive Draconid is still in the deck, so he can just play an untargetable taunt minion as well. So it is just too much. It was so close for so many turns.
Yep.
It wasn't close enough.
Jarla gonna do his thing though and continue to milk this out.
Time is burning out.
Like, at what point are you just being cruel? Like, you're just teasing the poor man at this point.
And maybe this is payback for Casie queuing other decks apart from Warrior first.
Listen, when your opponent is the one bringing the anti-warrior lineup, you have no obligation to make their life easier.
Not making your own life easier, so what about that?
That is a much better argument, yeah. I do kind of like this philosophy, just from like a mental side of the game. It means Jarla has to play these games with maximum pressure on him, right? Like, is that not worth something in the series?
No.
Okay.
No. I get your point. It just depends if like that's really going to affect someone like that's really going to affect Jarla. It might affect like lesser players maybe, but I think at the stage right now, I don't really think that's going to bother someone too much, or at least someone of this caliber.
Yeah, exactly. He could have done that at any point in the last 4 turns, and the response from Casie would have been the same. But exactly as I said, like, optimal says that you wait for a big minion to appear from your opponent and then do it on one of the big minions, because he literally knows every card left in the deck. So if he can make any other play that he knows he never dies to, there's no reason not to do that, because you then have that super clean removal when a big minion comes down from your opponent. So those last 2 turns did get stretched out a little bit, but the 10 turns or so before that were incredibly dramatic. Casie got extremely close. He had a couple of very slim outers where he was going to need like a 1 in 10 into a 1 in 19 or something like that to win the game. Jarla went for some risky plays with the card draw to, I think, specifically get the bombs out of his deck so that there wasn't actually a big threat coming down from the Blastmaster Boom. But certainly that was winnable in small percentages on a couple of occasions there for Casie, but it was all snatched away from him at the last.
Yep, so close but so far. The big turn for me was just him on 5 health when he could have healed and it was dead to that bomb. But still, that game's done, dusted. We are going to move on to game number two. Number two. Yeah, that's what it feels like with this series, doesn't it? Game number 1 was the first warrior game. Game number 2 is the second warrior game. Jarla is going to be on the priest this time around. No weapon removal in his hand. And priest doesn't exactly draw minions quick.
And a clean curve from Casie so far. And never mind. Different game of Hearthstone.
What is a
Could see Jarla pass here still, because he currently doesn't have a turn 3 spoken for. He certainly has a turn 4 spoken for with the coin sticky finger right now, but the Cleric Scales might just be held onto for an extra turn or 2 here, just to find something more reactive to do with it. Yeah, this makes sense.
It would like activate a battle rage as well that maybe you just don't want to have activated for some stuff, right? Like it's only small, but I think it is relevant, as you said, because there's that turn 3 available to it. There you go.
So now turn 3 can be used to just piece things together here. This might now be the Cleric of Scales turn. Now the 2-2 can contest the 1-2. He has a little bit more information about what he's looking for in this game.
Imagine with only one sticky finger in hand, Raised Dead looks quite appealing right now.
Yeah, agreed. Again, what would have also looked very appealing is Casie playing Ankar, because that would have been a buffed up 3 swing Ankar, and then Jarla could have used it to get the second sticky finger out of his deck by stealing the Ankar with his first one. Right now, he's going to be a weapon destruction short unless he can just kind of high roll that Raised Dead here. Casie throws out the, I don't know, I guess I go face.
This is pretty sick though, right? Because he might not even necessarily have to high roll, because only 1 minion's died now, and then he can steal the weapon and kill the armor smith. Which then means, is Casie going to prioritize killing the 1-1 over the 4-4? And then if he doesn't, if he just kills the sticky finger, then the Raised Dead's guaranteed, right?
Sure.
Job's done.
Yikes. Cutting class for 5. Casey's donezo. Certainly has assumed the body language of a man who's given up on this game of Hearthstone.
It's not like he's already typing his next class.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, still warrior. Yeah,
it's still warrior. Yeah. Spoilers, it's warrior again.
Yeah, this I know people joke about this a little bit, but this does feel like one of those games where if Jarla could just show him his hand, be like, I've got Shadow Word Death, Kartut, Renews, Raised Dead, like, you're losing this game, my friend.
Yeah. It's the same thing as the previous game, but much more towards the end, where, you know, Casie might have had a chance if literally Jarla's bottom 2 cards were both Nether Breaths, you know? But, like, as soon as they were in hand, he was dead.
Jeez. Going for the Raised Dead, okay.
4 sticky fingers.
Only really if he passes, though, right?
You don't pick the one to see.
What do you mean?
Oh, okay, I was seeing if he was going to play like Cabal Acolyte, and then suddenly the Acolyte could die, and then Sticky Finger might not die, and then muddy the water later on, and so on. But yeah, I get your point, of course.
All right. Do you just want to get this done?
Yeah.
Trade Holy Smite your Sticky Finger and then play Raised Dead?
Yeah. Just take it guaranteed, right? It's literally extra stick. You can just do it twice, right? You clear enough of his hand to do it twice?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. That play was so cute that I wasn't sure if it was insane, but it made sense to me, so...
It's cute, and you get the game-winning card back in your hand, right? I think that's where cute starts being cute and effective.
Yep,
so
Yep. these cards out of your hand.
Can he just do it
He
again?
can,
I
like-
really want him to do it again.
Yeah, he
Play
could
Pyro
like
and do it.
Pyro raise dead, but
Yeah.
I think we might have jumped the shark at that point in ways you can actually defend this play being good. I don't know.
Nope, nope. What about wave dead?
That might be more defensible, yeah. No, it's fine. He only needs one more Sticky Finger, right? Because if the next weapon is the Ankar, he Sticky Fingers the Ankar, and then he actually draws the last
It's
Sticky Finger
natural,
that's in his
yeah.
deck, and he's good. If the next weapon is the Wrench Caliber, he Sticky Fingers the Wrench Caliber. He doesn't care about the other weapon anymore anyway, right? So he actually only needs this one more to be pretty secure, I'd say.
If he gets an extra one, though, he can just play one out as a minion and really stress Casie out for the next game.
Oh.
We were talking about mental warfare, Sottle. Well, how about that? It's
Literally, why can't I hold all these Sticky Fingers?
exactly.
They're called Sticky Fingers. I'm supposed to be able to hold them. They're supposed to be sticky. Why am I dropping them all over the board?
It's not looking great, is it?
It's not. No.
And unlike some of the lists we were talking about this past weekend in other regions as well, there isn't even, the athletic studies to try and fish for a card gap. Not that it would matter, but there's no way to generate something that steals the game away, right? We're not going to get any Lady Liadrin shenanigans, for example, and so on. Like the deck is built so cleanly that there's actually no wiggle room for anything outside of the box to win a game with, right? You either hit them in the face and kill them, or you lose. Very straightforward. Okay. It's one of those weird games where they're both trying to play an actual game of Hearthstone, which really isn't what this is anymore. Because Jarla wants to play Morozond, which will get him a Deathwing, which is sick. But then it opens up Casey's removal tools, and it's like, none of it really matters.
None of that actually matters. Yeah.
But because these guys are good Hearthstone players, they're like,
Yes.
ooh, do I want to give him targets for this removal, like Brawl? It's like, it doesn't matter.
Right.
But they're going to sit and think about it anyway.
Even though I actually only played one card to make this board, aren't I just overcommitting into Barrel? Like, no one cares! You've won the game! Just play your cards!
Yeah. Just play a tempo Sticky Fingers.
He actually could now, right?
That will make Casie concede, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And an ooze. That's what I want to see from Jarla.
Yeah, I think we might see the tempo ooze at some point, but maybe just hold on to both Sticky Fingers still. Not sure. Okay. I mean, drawing a card's cool. Pretty sure, I mean, you do have Pyro in your hand, but I'm pretty sure you're never really that interested in drawing like 6 cards with the hand that you have right now. I think I'd just cycle this for 1 right now and then like drop a Pyromancer or something, call it a turn.
I would have Sticky Fingered and oozed instead of this one maker. It's strictly the better play.
Alright, sure. Seems fine. Like I said, the ooze is like the backup plan, right? This is the non-ideal way to remove your opponent's weapons, so you can get rid of this one because the Sticky Finger is the ideal.
Oh, now the Sticky Finger has value.
Yo!
I mean, you just kind of want to do this, right? Because it does negate the Horde Pillager that at least we can see in hand.
Whoa, yeah, that Horde Pillager is going to be dangerous if it brings back a 1/3 weapon. Oh.
So, if Jarla's going to sit there and consider implications of creating a free Deathwing into removal, I'm going to sit and consider the implications of letting a Horde Pillager do anything in this game.
What is a loon's will?
need to dump some cards at some point, right? But which of these cards are actually dumpable? Don't say Sticky Finger. I know you have a huge, compelling urge to say Sticky Finger right now, but seriously, though...
Minion?
But seriously, though, which of these cards can he actually dump out of his hand apart from the Pyromancer? That is a pretty big problem right now. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, is it Apotheosis? Yeah, I was literally, that was where I was leading to. I was like, is Apotheosis the least essential card in his hand right now?
Yeah, I think Cabal Acolyte could have been one to throw away as well. We're living in a post-Deathwing world, so I think that's the only real minion you're expecting to get a good steal on with the Wave of Apathy play.
Well, it's also just a taunt, though, right? Where I think, like, taunt is more valuable than heal when you're not really under pressure to begin with, because it's multiple times you can like stop Galakron damage going to your face by just playing taunt minions down.
I mean, you're forcing me to pick other minions, so I've got to come up with something, haven't I?
Yeah.
I wasn't allowed my first pick. I lost it.
I mean, yeah, again, it's just a solution of which of these cards he doesn't need.
He can smite his own 3/5, then renew it.
Yes.
Probably get more generate, like Thought Steal or something. Like it's like no.
Right.
I wonder.
So what you get for playing Priest? Just saying.
Yes. I mean, we could also reach the point at some point.
Absolute profit.
You could also reach the point at some point where Jarla could say this game is just actually over, and then he can just end turns with 10 cards in his hand, right? Over and over, and just
pass. Just pass for the rest of the game.
Like right now, there's literally one bomb in his deck, so I don't think we're at that point just yet. Wow, did he actually? He actually Thought Stole into Skipper Armor Smith. Okay.
Is this game over? Always has been.
Always has been.
Is this what you're really upset with, Casie? Was this what broke you?
I mean, yeah, like Casie felt like he was in with a chance right up until he saw that Armor Smith.
That pesky Armor Smith. Oh, ruined.
He was formulating a plan, it was all coming together, he has this 2 damage that he can push from his scuffed Light's Justice. Like, he was in there, but as soon as that Armor Smith came down, oh no, game over.
Yep, can't make up that 7 damage anywhere now.
Oh my goodness, that's not even playable because he doesn't have a dragon in his hand. Just freaking,
isn't that good?
Just freaking play it. Yeah, just get it out of your hand.
Isn't that good? That it's not going to generate anything.
Yeah.
Still have those 2 sticky fingers, I'm just saying.
Don't, like, can you just fight the compulsion? I know how strong it is.
I can't.
Okay.
I can't. This game's pushing me over the edge, Sol.
Boom! Alright, no bombs left at this point. Okay, now, go! You can say it now, go ahead, all you.
Might be the turn for the Acolyte.
You fool! You had your golden opportunity and you squandered it.
Did I really, though? That's what you gotta ask yourself. Or was that what I was setting up for all along? Now we won't get the value from the Ankar steal.
I know. Disaster, right?
Just gonna draw Casie a card. Does he have any pirates left? I imagine no.
He actually does still have 1 risky skipper remaining. According, I believe the first, yeah, because he had one in his hand, and then one was thought stolen, and he generated the other one from the Sky Raider, I think. So I think there's still actually one in the deck. Like, what do you think? Like, you knew that was going to happen, didn't you? Wasn't this guaranteed? I'm not sure, like, what the raised dead situation was on the second one, but like, wasn't this a guaranteed scenario? I'm not sure.
I also think with only like 9 cards in the deck,
Yeah.
you can't be too surprised at any particular card being in Jarla's hand at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because he's passed some turns with a full hand, like, and there's been no, well, I think there's been opportunities to play Sticky Finger, but there's been no real opportunity to play Sticky Finger. Then, like, yeah, can't be too surprised.
Right.
There is Upgrade and Dr. Krastenov, though. Name a more iconic duo.
Raven and saying the words, maybe you just tempo the Sticky Finger here.
It just shows how influential I am that I can make that one phrase iconic in just one game of Hearthstone.
That's it. You're going to see people with like wearing that on T-shirts now. Like honestly, you'll be out around Manny somewhere, and you'll just see someone just wearing a what if we just tempo.
Manny. Yeah. No one calls it. That's all.
I mean, people
apart from upper class Southerners.
Yeah, exactly. I don't see what your problem is.
You're my problem today, Sal, but most importantly, Dr. Krastenov gonna get a good target, to be fair. He does come down there and challenge the Armor Smith. Casey's now gonna start chipping away this 30 health. Only gotta get through 2 Artuts. And Sticky Finger number 501.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Apotheosis on an Armor Smith. Is there anything more disgusting? The answer is 5 Sticky Fingers.
Having 5 Sticky Fingers does sound pretty disgusting, to be fair, now that you mention it.
Exactly.
Yeah. There is still the one remaining Wrench Caliber at this point, though. So I'm sure this is being reserved. Fairly sure he can tank this 2-3 for quite some time here. Stormforged Axe not really getting the job done.
Is Casie really just assuming Galakron's going to get there? Is that actually where we're at right now? Because it must be, right?
I mean, maybe. It isn't. I can tell you that much.
I would have to agree with you on that one, but that's all that's left, like Galakron and Krunks, right?
Mm-hmm.
As reasonable cards, I guess, in the deck. I guess Boom as well.
That's a good draw. Let's go ahead and ooze this weapon now, remove that from the equation. Still has the Sticky Finger remaining for the last Wrench Caliber. I love how committed Jarla is to doing this perfectly. Like, not only is he winning, he's winning with the absolute minimum number of cards played that he can get away with. Like, you have to have an insane level of patience, dedication, and skill and understanding to be able to execute this well. Like, a lot of people could win from the positions that Jarla's been in, but they would win while making mistakes. And Jarla's not making mistakes for, like, you know, an hour plus straight now at this point.
I think that sums up Jarla pretty well, honestly. He has been one of our, if not most consistent players across years of Grandmasters now. And he's just going to wreck him with an Alex Straza.
What's the other thing? Is that a Neathog? It is.
It's Nithog, isn't it?
Is it? Oh, so
it's not Nidhogg.
Yeah, I said Neat deliberately, but I thought it was Nithog. I didn't realize it was Nithog.
I wonder.
Oh, maybe it is Nit. Yeah. I thought you said Nidhogg. Because I've not been saying Nidhogg because that's the thing.
What are we talking about?
What are we talking about at the best of times? Never mind here, which is quite frankly the worst of times.
I'll show you who's boss.
Sure, win the brawl, stick a risky skipper, push the 1 a bunch of times. Unlucky. All right, next plan. Okay, we found it. We found the line.
Hey! It's over. Casie concedes. Jarla takes a win. The series is not over yet. There's still one more matchup. What is the last matchup? Oh, it's Druid.
Druid.
Isn't that the hardest one for Casie at this
For
point?
Bomb Warrior specifically, yes, maybe. I think this deck gets the job done incredibly consistently in this one matchup. I think it's completely free to just about every other deck in Hearthstone, but in this one matchup, we have not really found a way to get the job done against this deck in all of our testing. So yeah, Casey's in trouble here. And obviously, like, you know, we're having some fun here and there, and we're losing the plot, and we're sort of, you know, playing the why wouldn't you concede card. There's a very good reason why Casey's not just conceding, and it's because this one series really spells out the difference between whether he goes into the last day of Grandmasters, the round robin this season, thinking about finishing first, or thinking about whether he's going to get relegated this season. This one result changes all of that as to what he's going to be doing on Sunday. So, you know, as much as we lose the will to live during the end of some of these games,
Yeah.
Casie is absolutely not. He is hanging on to every last possible fraction of an out that he can think of, and only giving it up when he has no more outs left to draw.
Well, this is it. All goes down to this single game in this series. Casie got the wins with the other decks, but as we mentioned, it was really all about the warrior. Jarla, he can win with his warlock and priest now, and arguably has the best or the most consistent deck against the warrior here in the form of this quest/list.
Casie, to his credit, has been a Corsair Cash gamer every single game so far, which is absolutely step one. And this is the one window that you do have, because Jarla does have to be very, very slow in the early game. He is playing Quest Druid, so he's relatively AFK through the opening turns, and that does allow Casie to get this early Wrench Caliber going. See the raise of the eyebrows coming out there from Jarla. It's about as emotional as he's got, but there is the security blanket ooze. It's not ideal, but it's something.
Yeah, and this is why you could look at this and go, hang on a minute, why wouldn't Jarla want a 3-2 on this board? Because then if Wrench Caliber gets played and trades into the 3-2, that's really good, right? And if not, you have a minion to start trading away. Doesn't matter. He needs the weapon removal, therefore he wants card draw, which is why he's then just like sort of throwing away a free 3-2 to an extent, going for that card draw instead. Ooze is going to come down and answer question number 1. But Casie still does have Corsair Cash number 2 available to him.
Yes, he does.
Let me slow him down, though.
Double Dread Corsair, okay.
I thought he was going to Blade Storm that board, then I was like, huh?
It's actually pretty insane when he does make the weapon play, right? It's a ton of tempo in one turn if he just holds off for a little bit. Cycle some more with these Rising Winds. Again, not really playing for tempo on board, just drawing cards. Drawing cards is essential here. Needs to make sure he has all the answers. If he doesn't find the weapon destruction, he's going to find the healing. If he doesn't find the healing, he's going to find the removal. Eventually, it'll all come together. He just has to draw cards.
And it is coming together now, right? Because there's 2 crystal powers there now. The quest is done in a relatively safe fashion. There is the Wrench Caliber off the top there, which is a big deal, actually, and almost negates half the stuff I was just saying.
It's insane, because this turn that I was talking about, I was saying maybe Casie will wait one turn so he could do all of this in one go with the Ankar, but drawing the Wrench Caliber means that he can just make the enormous push right now. It means if Sticky Finger comes down, it's 6 damage of Dread Corsairs that get to go face. If Oasis Surger comes down, it's no weapon destruction, so you get to swing again with the Wrench Caliber. Like, being able to attack on multiple fronts here is exactly what Casie needs to be doing.
There's a good amount of ways to get rid of this board, though. There's double Wrath, which is going to draw for him as well, which I think is pretty important. Then he can even use the Crystal Powers to heal himself up if he wants to fill out, or feels the need to fill out the curve. Although I guess he probably wants to combine those with the...
with Steladris.
With Steladris, yeah, just to get the actual extra heals, which I think is worthwhile. But my main point is, Jarla clears these and draws cards, which right now is exactly what he needs to do.
There's currently no spell in hand activating those 2 right-hand cards, though. The Steel Beetle and the Groundskeeper. No big spell in hand.
Let's just have Rising Winds, though. Could help him out.
Yep. Jarla gonna keep cycling here. Oh, one Wrench Caliber has already been destroyed from the opening Acidic Swamp Ooze, so that Horde Pillager is live. But now the heal train can start rolling for Jarla, even though he's not been able to get the weapon destruction.
And that's the difference that this Druid deck has over the other...
Insane draw!
Over the other anti-warrior decks, is that it can still miss on the weapon removal, as we are witnessing right now, but it has so much heal and so many like potentially impactful taunt minions that it can actually just outlast Bomb Warrior, as opposed to sort of neuter the weapons. It can actually just heal through it a lot of the time as well. So although this looks pretty dire for Jarla, he still has options and still has plenty of game left. It's just how he chooses to use these turns up here, because now he has almost too many options that this is becoming difficult to pick the right choice.
The deck is just full of redundancies and fail-safes for this exact situation, right? Like, it's not just one person that knows the recipe for Coke. Like, you can... If all the bombs go in your deck, you can transform them. You literally play Wormrest Purifier. You can get rid of them that way. If all the bombs go in your deck, you can just heal for 1 million and just sit there and tank the bombs over and over again. Obviously, that's if Plan A fails and you just haven't been able to destroy all of the weapons up until that point. So it's just redundancies built on top of fail-safes with this version of the deck.
Look at that, already up a ton of health now. And yes, he got pressured early on. Yes, there are bombs in the deck. But Jarla, well, that's
the draw! That's the draw! Oh, baby! Yep, eyebrow raise number 2 coming out from Jarla. That is about as animated as you're going to see him get. That's how you know it's serious business. Eyebrows being raised aplenty.
He does have Oasis Surger and Mishfin as well. So he does have ways. He could actually even go... Oh, no, that wouldn't work, sorry. He can put a lot of stats on the board, most importantly, right? Which is going to help with his bombs. And one Oasis Surger and the Beetle can deal with the actual boom itself.
That's right.
Maybe he just follows up with, like, Ghidra instead.
So many contradictions.
And doesn't even
trade
bother.
the 4-1 instead because he wants to leave maximum health on the board as opposed to maximum damage.
Yeah, sure.
That does make sense, I guess.
Yeah, Jarla doesn't need to kill Casie right now. He needs to survive Casie. Really?
Wait.
The bomb hit?
Wasn't that first Oasis Surger he traded free to trade into a bomb first? Because the second one always survived, right? Because it was at 5 health, so he could always trade the second one into the Blastmaster Boom. Wasn't that technically less damage on average?
I think so, yeah. He gets to peel 1 bomb. And there's always the chance that then it like takes 2 or something. And
right. It might just be the same thing, actually. I'm not sure now that I think about it.
Oh, there's the bombs. There's the new Wrench Caliber. Jarla going to be taken down to 16 without any bombs prop. The problem is, Jarla will want to nourish, I think, very, very soon.
That is bomb number 4 into the deck now as well. Which means we might even be approaching Archivist Elysiana territory sometime soon just to be able to remove that threat of lethal. But there's so many key cards that Jarla just hasn't found yet. The Hidden Oasis, the Kobold Sticky Fingers, all the things that are needed to make this deck come together.
Free your mind.
Oh, gonna go Crystal Power and then Nourish?
Then Nourish, yeah.
Yeah, okay, this is nice. He gets the heal as well. As you might have forgotten, the Ladris gives you both copies of the spell that you double up from. There's bomb 1.
He doesn't have space for this, right? But he draws the cards first, so the things he loses are the Nourish tokens? Okay, that's fine. Sure.
Time run low.
There's Wimrest. Does he wait a turn, though? Does he heal this turn and kill off the 4-1 instead?
Yeah, I think that's better, right?
He goes up to 21.
Yep. Shoot the 4-1, heal again, and then Wormrest Purify next turn after the last bomb goes in off the last Wrench Caliber? Oh, really? Okay.
I guess with Boom gone, he just takes 1 bomb, right? And then he could just Elysiana if he's that bothered.
But it's just 4 damage that he's left up on board as well by not shooting the 4-1.
That is true, yeah. And also now with that, he doesn't guarantee have weapon removal. Well, he doesn't have weapon removal, right? This upgrade's a huge deal.
Right. Yep, Uzi's gone, Sticky Finger's gone. It's looking very much like it. Casie might just be piecing something together. Don't want to speak too soon, because Hidden Oasis is still a card.
He just simply hasn't given Jarla any breathing room this game, which has meant that he's not been able to stick any minions, then utilize these taunts sticking around, the heals going off.
Exactly.
Jarla's mana has pretty much had to be used almost every turn of the game for defense, and there's never like any proactive turns available for him.
Right.
Does have some options now though, right? His healing touch and the crystal power can add a lot to the board. He could also use Gidra with healing touch, trade the 2 armor smiths, and then heal up again.
So many contradictions.
Yeah, I kind of like that turn, but with the Oasis Surger instead. Like Oasis Surger and double heal. Because then it's 10 damage in play, right? So if Deathwing comes down, you then have the other half of the Piercing Thorns part of Crystal Power to shoot the remaining 2 damage on the Deathwing, and you deal with that really efficiently on the following turn.
Yep. Seems reasonable to me.
Refreshing.
And there are, of course, other good targets, right? He has multiple 6-cost spells and 5-cost spells to go with Gidra if he really wants.
Yeah. Back up to 20. Four bombs still in deck, about to be 5 this turn. Technically, just lethal represented at any point. Oh no, sorry, they're transformed. They're transformed. Deck tracker doesn't. The deck tracker just doesn't handle that for some reason. It just has never got to that point.
Don't you worry. Really just missing one of those Hidden Oasis, isn't he? Can he just play the 10-drop now?
I think so. I mean, you do... There is some use of just wanting to use the Giant Rush as a Giant Rush, right? And
it's kind of got Rush if it's already on board.
Well, yeah, but that's not going to happen, right? It's going to get brawled or it's going to get barreled. It's never actually going to stick.
I guess my point being is, if it gets removed in that fashion, is Casie just not really doing much else?
Whoa! He transformed one of the bombs into another Keeper Steladris!
That's actually pretty sick for Hidden Oasis, right?
That's insane! Steel Beetle now as well.
Hey, Jarla's just going to win on fatigue because Casey's giving him tons of Druid cards. It's only 25 health. It's coming together for Jarla. He's stabilizing.
Plays the Rampant Growth just to get it out of his hand here. Snuff off the top though. Means 2 more bombs going in over the course of the game.
He is in a position where he could Elysiana.
He's playing the waiting game with Hidden Oasis though, right? Like, he really wants that first, I think.
Oh, okay. Still not got it. Wait, how many bombs do you... That's all of them, right?
Yep.
So can he just free Nourish now? Use the deal 2 to deal with the Krasinov, then get like freebie Nourish, get to the Hidden Oasis?
Yeah, I like it.
I guess he can do it this order, whatever.
Yeah, he's extremely likely to get there, right? Oh my god, he doesn't find it. He doesn't find it.
He's got a taunt, though. Insane. Bottom 5, double Hidden Oasis.
Yeah.
How
it's actually insane.
You have to play the taunt this turn, right? There's just no way. You need to like have some way of playing around like Galakron damage go face, just actually being a lethal out for the opponent. Same thing with Deathwing. The lethal out is going to be there though, because this 5 damage is going to go face.
Yeah.
And the bomb is going to be in the deck. And based on Casey's reaction... Okay, no, he's just praying. I thought he'd seen it already. Oh. Hands clasped in prayer. But Casie,
you got it.
Now you might have got the spoilers if you were watching. No!
Wait,
it's Elise at the top! He looked so happy! So happy! What's going on?
I have got no clue. What was that? Oh, wait. I bet his deck
Oh,
tracker
his
told
deck
him it
tracker
was a
said bomb. Yes, that's exactly what
Oh.
happened. That's exactly what happened.
Oh, but there's still no hidden oasis for Jarla,
Right.
and he can't play Elysiana. He's got another go. He can't play Elysiana because he dies to Deathwing.
Ankar now connects again. Galakron now as well. Can't fit it all in, but it's another redraw.
Casie, it's not over till the bomb actually kills him.
I'm not calling it this time. I'm not calling it this time. I don't know what that reaction was. Oh, hidden oasis! Hidden oasis off the top Raven.
That is huge. And to be fair, Jarla has waited all game for it. And he gets it at last. And that might just be it. Jarla now has another heal for 12. He can just drop Elysiana now and remove bombs, refill, well, not refill, but put his deck down to 10 cards.
Yeah.
He should, right? Isn't this just always Elysiana?
It feels like a good turn for it, yeah. There is, of course, still one more hidden oasis left at this deck. And now we might have reached the Jarla comfort zone territory. Where, again, he's just going to calculate if he can actually die on any given turn. And if he can't, he's going to do the absolute bare minimum. Because he also has active Elise in his hand right now, which is kind of cool.
Right.
So
How many cards does he have? 3. He at least works from left to right now, right? They changed it, didn't they?
Did they? I don't remember that.
They changed it from being random to left to right.
Okay.
Unless I'm going absolutely crazy, I dreamt it, but I'm sure they did it when it was Malagos. With I'm sure someone will correct.
No, I'm pretty sure you're right now that you mention it. It's just been a while.
Oh, yeah.
Nature speaks through.
Gonna go for the heal.
Okay. Yeah. Heal seems safest. No reason to commit another big taunt here because you know one of the cards remaining is Brawl, you know one of the cards remaining is Barov, and you know one of the cards remaining is Risky Skipper, so...
Taunt lives. You can't even
no
punch
real
through
reason
it.
at all to commit to board, and yeah, Casie is looking despondent right now, and now the bomb comes when there is absolutely no reason to see it. That is indeed another Elise. So Jarla has infinite value now, as well as everything else. Oh boy.
So close. But so far. Can punch through this time. But it's getting more and more likely that Jarla's going to get this second hidden oasis down.
Cards are low. How strange.
Do you think he missed a trick playing the Elysiana, though? I think he could have gotten away with it and made him just... For me, it feels safer to see cards in the deck as opposed to looking at fatigue, but I guess, yet again, like, this looks
he's never
safe.
Yeah, he's never getting pressured, is he? So he can, he can draw his last card, then play Elysiana, and he's absolutely fine. Like, at the end of the day, yeah, the reaction of the two players kind of tells you everything you need to know. Casie, absolute despondent, like edge of tears, honestly, it looked like at certain points there. Whereas Jarla just throws up his hands and like, yep, I mean, that's the lineup working as it's supposed to do. Like, sorry everyone, I know it's frustrating, but I've got a tournament to win here. I've got a Grandmasters to win in this position. I've got to do what it takes, and you absolutely can't fault him for doing so. But again, Casie now brought Bomb Warrior, which is a choice that he made. He ran into the anti-bomb warrior lineup, and now pretty much just based on that, he now has to think about relegation tomorrow instead of finishing top of the league, which is an insane turn of events from how well his season had been going up until this point.
And I think, however close that obviously was, right? If the bomb came out earlier, boom, game over, Casie wins, fantastic, and things like that. But if Jarla had drawn one of his hidden oasis any earlier in that game, apart from his bottom 5 or whatever,
or a sticky finger, or a sticky
finger, that would have. It wouldn't have even been close at that point. I think the game just is over in a much earlier fashion. So, although it looked very unlucky for Casie, Jarla did not exactly have the smoothest game for himself either. But you can see how